something with you, you as witness. Do you have a drum, AJ? All right. Okay. So this is my brother, my friend, he was also like a father to me, Reverend Ivana Gale. So we are going to just drum for probably 2 or 3 minutes. And somebody could use my doombek. Anybody like drumming? Okay, come on, here, pal, Penelope. Use this.
Anybody know how to play a djembe?
Yeah. Do you know how to play? Who knows how to play drums? Anybody? Come on, come on. Okay, then Isha, you're, oh, Barb, come on.
Barbara's got it.
Okay, Barbara, come on, Barbara. Let's do we got some, you would like this, all the girls playing for him. Okay, because Nirvana was quite the flirt, too. Okay. All right. So I just want to give tribute to this man because he was actually, here's the best story. I became a new member at Agape, and this was when they were in Santa Monica. And I remember Reverend Nirvana, he comes up and he whispers, he goes, God loves you. And I'm looking at him going, but what about all the men? So that's when I knew I had some healing to do. But I'll never forget that. And he whispered in my ear, and I'm thinking, but I'm a man. So he actually helped me heal my male stuff. And I am a great guy in my life now, but it's taken a while. Hey, it's what it is. But and another story real quick is that I went into his office and I had a little card, and it was something talking about a derogatory thing about men because I had issues about men. And so I actually did a practitioner session with him and ripped up the card and let go of that energy because it wasn't serving me to dislike men. I have 4 brothers. Okay. It's my daddy issues. So we're going to just drum, and if you want to take a look at these pictures of him, there's him with Reverend Michael, there's a picture of him with an elephant, so cute, and there he is in his glorious, colorful finery.
Regalia.
And,
Regalia.
Regalia, there you go, there you go. And so let's just drum for a few minutes, and this is in honor of you, beloved Nirvana. I love you madly, darling, and I know you're in a great place and you are free from all of the pain that you have been suffering. And thank you for being a bright light and a beautiful presence on this planet. You make a difference and made a difference. So let us hold that, and we're going to drum for my brother. Okay? Okay. feel that? Y'all feel the energy? Woo, rise up. Rise up. It's beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, bless you, my beloved. Mwah. Have fun on the other side. I know you will. One of the things that I did at my ordination, my installation, I actually had Nirvana do the drum and call in people. So that's why I wanted to do that, because every class I took, he always brought his drum. So I thought it was a perfect send out for him and honoring of him and his divine presence. Well, I have a new friend, and Reverend Roby and I connected on the phone. My God, we're on the phone like 2 hours, maybe 3. I don't know, but we're like, so we just had so much to share because she ran a center in, what was the city again?
In San Diego.
San Diego. Del Mar, that's right. My daughter was living down there. Anyway, so we started talking, and she's going to be up here with Ricky is a reverend now, isn't she?
Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Dr. Ricky Byers Beckwith.
All right.
So she's going to, she will be here with Reverend Roby, and they're going to be doing some healing, but I'm going to let you share a little bit about that day later. But I want to have us give Reverend Roby a huge welcome, because we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A and talk a little bit about her life and where her gifts came from. And so let's give her a welcome.
Yay!
Oh, so I know, so gorgeous, isn't she? I love her head.
I love that red.
I know, right?
I know.
So cute. You're so beautiful.
I'm just a reflection.
I love it, darling. I love it. Well, we got to talking, and I had no idea that this woman is a psychic medium. Do you know what that is? Okay, well, you want to explain to them what a psychic medium is?
Yeah, and if I may,
Yes.
I would like to do a little energy work first in the room, and
yeah.
then we can
Amen,
go.
sister.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's just
Okay,
get it real.
beautiful.
We're gonna get. I'm just such an energy. I was going to use a bad word in church, but I won't.
This ain't a church.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Your
morning.
voice is amazing, by the way. And oh my goodness, you are a portal. And I know you know that. You have a lot of ancestors with you. You're a healer. I have goosebumps all over my body.
Wow.
So, yeah, you have walked this planet, you walked this world a few times doing what you do. So it was a blessing to...
First rodeo.
It's not your first rodeo.
It's
It's a
not your
blessing.
first rodeo.
It's a blessing to reconnect with you, my brother. So first of all, how many people have never had the experience of a mediumship reading or a session? Never. Okay. Good. That's good. How many people have never had a psychic reading? Right. Okay. Great. Good. So I just want to begin by saying, in religious science, we take the teachings of Christ literally in many respects, metaphysically in many respects, and what we know is that we are made in the image and likeness of God, yes?
Yes.
And so God is an infinite being, yes?
Yes.
And so I think sometimes what we forget is that we are infinite beings. You're an infinite being.
Yes.
Yes.
You're an infinite being. And so what I want us to do, I want to take a moment and ask you to close your eyes. I want to get everybody into present time. And I'm going to get everybody into their bodies. I'm going to get everybody real. I want everybody to be present, be here now. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is I just want you in your mind's eye and your imagination, I want you just to take yourself out to the furthest recesses of the universe that you can find. So I just want you to go out amongst the stars, the planets. Just go out, send your energy body, send your body all the way out as far as you can go out into all that beauty, all of that magnificence. And once you get there, I just want you to have the feeling experience. and what you're feeling, feel what that feels like to be out into the universe. This is your infinite beingness, your infinite self. And question, as an infinite being, do you need to be safe from anything? Do you need to be safe or protected from anything? No. An infinite being can allow for everything and judges nothing. As an infinite being, is there anything else that exists outside of you? As an infinite being, what's possible for you in your life? Anything. And as an infinite being, do you have a body? As an infinite being, is your body in you, or are you in your body? As an infinite being, you are in your body, and your body is in you. As an infinite being, are you limited by what you can experience inside of your physical body, or is there infinite potentialities and possibilities? As an infinite being, is there anything to be afraid of or to fear? And so now I want you to come back through all of those stars and planets, all those universes. Come back. Come back into this physical body. Bring your awareness into this room. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Becoming aware of where you're sitting. And from where you're sitting, I want you to call back all of the energy that you have been sending out and holding on to in your past. I want you to bring it forward into present time. You may not intellectually know how to do this, but you know how to do it. And now I want you to bring from your future all of the good that you have projected into your future. I want you to bring it back to you now into present time. All of those I'll do it when's, my life will be great when. All of that projected good that you've thrown into the future, your future life, your future you, how much better your life will be when. Bring it back and call it back into present time now. Just breathe in again through the nose, out through the mouth. Become aware of your beautiful physical body. Breathing in again. And out, becoming aware of where you are sitting and breathing in. Breathing out, becoming aware of this holy, sacred room. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes and come back into the room. Here we go. So as an infinite being, do we ever really die?
No.
No. We just leave a body. That's all. And we step into our true body, our spirit body, our light body. And so as a medium, the only thing that I do, really, is I'm just a glorified piece of electronic equipment. It's a very humbling job, just to tell them all, really. So all I do is tap into that frequency, that vibrational force from the other side, from those people who are able to lower, they actually, our loved ones on the other side have to actually lower, they have to slow their vibrations down enough to become more materialized. And when they become more materialized, then we can see them, Sometimes we see them with our third eye, with our internal sight. Sometimes we can actually see them with these eyes. We can hear them. Again, sometimes we hear them with our internal vision. Sometimes we hear them really externally. And we can feel them. So, show of hands, how many people in this room have lost a loved one? Yeah, some people are blessed to not have yet, and that's okay. And so, how many people here would be really interested in being able to have a conversation with a loved one who's crossed over? You really are interested. You would love to be able to connect with them again. So guess what? Just as interested as you are to connect and talk with them, they are just as interested to connect and talk to you. Check that out. And so, it really is just a very common phenomenon. We all have intuitive gifts and abilities, right? We all have it. We all have had that moment where the phone rings and we know who's on the other end, right?
Yeah.
We've all had that moment when the doorbell knocks and we know who's there, right? Or we have a gut feeling like something's not right or something's wrong, right? Or you think about somebody that you haven't thought about for years and you pick up the phone and they're going through a challenge or a trial and oh my gosh, I was just thinking of you. So that sixth sense, right? That psychic ability, those capacities, we're actually, as human beings, we're actually hardwired for those skills and gifts and abilities. All of us have it. And it's actually skills that you can go to school and develop. Did you know that?
Wow.
It's not like you don't just have to be like born with it, you're just lucky and you could have like, with me it's like, oh my gosh, I have the widow's peak and I have the psychic M and when I was 5, there was dead people around my bed talking to me every night. I kind of came in hard, really hard wired, right? But I've also had the honor of teaching people who say, oh, I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, I don't feel anything. And, in 2 days, they're like, boom, 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 just providing messages and information. So psychic ability takes place in the pineal gland in the brain. And a lot of people, either there's some ways that you really come in with developed, psychic ability, either you're born with it. Sometimes, when I was 4 or 5, I had scarlet fever for 4 days. I had a very high fever. So if you had a high fever for an extended period of time, your psychic abilities can get turned on. People who've had a head injury oftentimes will then click into their psychic abilities, and then also people who have had a near-death experience can click into their psychic abilities. And why that is because the synapse that takes place, right, when you have all those little trees of fingers, those neural networks in your brain, well, when there's a jolt to the head or a fever or anything like that, it's like the synapse gets jolted. And then all of a sudden you've got these new little fingers that are connecting and communicating. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm kind of aware of a lot. I'm seeing things or hearing things. And you can also just start working and sitting and listening and paying attention. It's always a very still, small, quiet voice. And it's very easy to overlook. Now, the media has given mediumship and psychic phenomenon kind of a bum rap because they have made it a very phantasmagorical experience with things flying across rooms, although I have seen that. But it's rare. And, people getting harmed and injured and all kinds of crazy stuff, that's very rare. There's nothing to fear because we know that the light permeates the darkness without effort. The Bible tells us that we have dominion over all things. So we have dominion over all things. I came up through a Pentecostal church by choice. I know that's scary, but I did. And one of my crowning achievements in my life was at the age of 16, I was asked to leave the Pentecostal church. because I questioned the pastor incessantly, right? Because I was having conversations with Jesus and Mary was like crying myself to sleep at the age of 9, worried about how we were going to get into like, mental telepathy communications and instantaneous healings. And like, I was out there as a kid. And so I would say to the pastor, I said, okay, show me where it says you have to speak in tongues in order to be saved. And in Pentecostal church, they speak in tongues. And I could understand what people were saying. And I would interpret what they were saying. And I would have visions. And but then again, I also like going to football games and dances. And I wore makeup. And I hung out with the gay people. And oh my God, my pastor could not handle that. And I would say, Jesus calls me to love everybody equally.
Amen.
It's not my place to judge. And so I broke my leg on a motorcycle at summer camp. And I was really bummed out because I was going to play volleyball that year on the team. And summer camp was the week before school started, and volleyball practices started the week after school started, so clearly I wasn't playing volleyball that year. We had a faith healer come to our church that Sunday. And so faith healer, 16-year-old with a cast, it was a marriage in heaven. And he laid his hands on me and he said, "You're healed." And I was like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, I don't know. And so they taught us in the Pentecostal church to do something called putting a fleece before the Lord. It's a fabulous, fabulous energetic paradigm, and it actually works. Because what it is, you're basically saying, okay, God, I don't know, but if I am, prove it to me, right? Show me. And so I went to babysit that night, and the little kid I was babysitting, we had plaster cast back then. I mean, I know I was, only 16 about 10 years ago, but what? Shut up. So he slammed my cast in the door, and it cracked down the front. Now, the part I left out was summer camp was out in the middle of nowhere. They took me to a Red Cross station. They set my leg. When I got here, my mother took me to our pediatrician. They x-rayed it. It had been set incorrectly. So they had to take the cast off. They had to reset it, which was fun. And then they put a new cast on, and that was on Friday. So they had x-rays from Friday, Sunday, I get healed. Sunday night, my cast gets cracked down the front. I call my mom. She calls the doctor. He's like, "Bring her in here. We just reset that, right? We got to get a new cast on." So we go in. He's getting ready to put a new cast on. He said, "We just reset this. I don't feel comfortable resetting it without doing an x-ray first, just to make sure nothing is moved." Takes new x-rays, comes back out. He's like, "I'm really sorry. I don't know. My technician did not get good pictures. I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to take a second set of x-rays. We won't charge you, but we got to, just check." He comes back out and he says, "You must be the healthiest 16-year-old I've ever known, because there's absolutely no sign of a break in your leg anymore."
Wow.
Right? Now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. So I have goosebumps all over my body right now. The other thing that happened, there was a woman in our church, Barbara Dixon. She had myasthenia gravis. And if anybody is familiar with that disease, it's a disease where all of your muscles atrophy. And she was actually progressed to the point where she was in a wheelchair and she couldn't open her eyes because she had no muscle strength in her face. You eventually just suffocate from your muscles collapsing onto your arms. And of course, he laid his hands on her. And after service, we went to a place called the House of Pies. There's open House of Pies healing.
Yeah.
And we watched Barbara, literally, we watched her body restore itself right in front of our eyes. It took 2 days and she was completely healed.
Wow.
So I say this, and I'm sharing this with you because if there's any one message that I really want to leave with you today, is that your God can do anything. And your God can do anything, but I want you to know that you are made of that same infinite intelligence, that same God mana, right, that is acting upon itself in the middle of miracles, phantasmagorical miracles, but it's also acting upon itself in those quiet chance moments, those chance meetings that you have, or those synchronicities. You don't have to be special. Like, in your mind, what you think special is because you already are. You're it. And so anything is possible. We live in a world of infinite possibilities. Jesus said, "These things I do, and ye shall do greater things." We're already doing greater things. Jesus couldn't get in a plane and fly to Italy in 18 hours. I can. Right? Instantaneous healings are happening all the time. Reversals of fortune are happening all the time. Relationships are being healed all the time. It just requires us to let go of our judgments and our decisions and our conclusions, because it's our judgments, decisions, and conclusions, our closed minds, that keep us from experiencing miracles. And somebody said, miracles are actually just ordinaries. And so, in doing psychic work is really just ordinary. It's just ordinary. It's just how committed are you to experiencing the ordinary as a miracle? That's all. How willing are you to pay attention? How willing are you to listen? How willing are you to risk not looking good? How willing are you to be wrong? Your ego, let me tell you what. Being a medium, if I have a list of a lot of capacities, a long list. I play full out in life. I started out in life as a competitive equestrian, then I went into being a competitive ballroom dancer. I was in theater, I studied opera for 5 years, I'm a singer. I have a ministerial license and a doctorate in spiritualism. I have my minister's license in religious science. There's a lot of things that I can do. I teach a singing workshop. I've taught a singing workshop for 20 years called Finding Your Voice. The one thing that I just resist doing more than anything, like if on all of my lists you said, "Okay, Roby, if you could do all the things that you do, what would you do?" Let me tell you what, being a medium would be last on the list. Last. But why is that? Because my ego has to die daily. Because when I stand up here to work for you, and for those of you who are coming back today, you'll see that. When I stand up here, I got crickets. I gotta tell you, it's like chirp, 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 nothing, nothing. And I'm standing up here with nothing. It's not me. I don't have it. It's not within me. I can't find it. I can't go look for it. I can't manufacture it. I can't charm my way into making it happen, right? I have to totally and completely surrender to Spirit. And I have to be willing to not know anything. I can't smart way my way through it. I just have to go, okay, I'm here. I hope somebody shows up because I'm here. Right?
Wow.
And then, okay, there's a few people lined up, right? Okay, now I'm okay. But there is that moment where it's like, but nothing happens. So I want to just speak to you today about that moment. Because that's the moment where the magic happens. Because up until now, where we are standing in our lives, what we've done is we've created our lives based on everything that we know. Yes? Mm-hmm. Can you see that? And religious science is really tricky because religious science really helps us to develop our consciousness and our awareness, right? It says, we do affirmations, we do visioning, we do spiritual mind treatments. And so we have these ideas of what we want our lives to look like and what we think it should look like, and, right? However, there's a whole other infinite realm of possibility outside of anything that we can ever imagine. And we forget to ask. We forget to ask because, and why do we forget to ask? We forget to ask because of that one moment, right? That moment where you're like, oh, there's nothing. There's nothing right here. There's nothing. What I want, I've never had before. Where I'm going, I've never been before. What I'm asking fabulous as I've been pretending I am. Can you relate? Yeah, all right? So what gets us from just living our day-to-day life, and then living in a miraculous day-to-day life? What takes us from here to there, there to here? Well, I find us asking questions and not trying to have the answers. Let go of having to have the answers. Let go of trying to figure it all out, because we try to figure it out. We're only figuring it out from everything that we already know, and everything that we already know has gotten us to where we are already. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And we want more than that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah! So we have to ask questions, and we have to be willing to not know, and we have to learn how to get comfortable in not knowing, which sounds